by FLORENT BAJRAMI and Alexander TURNBULLMEDYKA, Poland, AP, walking the final 14 miles to Ukraine's border and to safety. Ludmila Sokol was moved by the mounds of clothes and other personal effects that many people discarded as they fled the fighting before her. You should have seen things scant. Because the farther you carry things, the harder it is. Like more than 1 million others, she's grappling with the pain of leaving everything behind. Sokol has found a home in Paris with her former gymnastics coach, a second mother whom she first met as a child. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but the only thing I know is that everything will be fine because Victoria Andreevna is nearby. Her host tied a homemade Ukrainian flag to a fishing rod to wave in a small gesture of defiance over Russia's invasion. The number of refugees who have fled Ukraine has now reached 1.2 million, the International Organization for Migration said Friday. This could become the biggest refugee crisis this century, the UN has said, predicting that as many as 4 million people could leave. The European Union decided Thursday to grant people fleeing Ukraine temporary protection and residency permits. The influx is enormous, EU refugee chief Filipo Grandi told the Associated Press during a visit to a border crossing in Moldova. He urged more international support for host countries. You see behind me, there's 20 kilometers, 12 miles, of cars in line waiting to come. One newly arrived refugee in Romania, Anton Kostyuchyk, struggled to hold back tears as he described leaving everything, even his parents, behind in Kyiv and sleeping in churches with his wife and 3 children during their journey out. I'm leaving my home, my country. I was born there, and I live there, and what now? He said. Amid loss, gestures of generosity abound. At a refugee camp in Siret, Romania, volunteers and emergency workers paused to hold a birthday party for a 7-year-old girl from Ukraine, complete with cake, balloons and song. The EU Children's Agency said 500,000 children in Ukraine had to flee their homes in the first week of Russia's invasion, though it didn't say how many left the country. In the small village of Uszka in Hungary, Pastor Edgar Kovacs opened the only room of his church to refugees. It was quickly filled with 29 members of a Roma family from Didova, Ukraine. I have a big family, so when we heard on the news what happened next door, our hearts began beating faster. And my whole family and I tried to help, the pastor said.